Thursday, my favorite day of the week, and it should be yours as well. This is Monad
in the
morning.
Boom. Pumped to be here. We've got an awesome guest lineup today. Some news to chat through, some good conversations to be had, some fun to be had as well. Glad to be here. Episode 29 is underway. Kevin, how are we feeling today?
I feel great. I actually look forward to 10 a.m. on Thursday now in my life more than I've ever looked forward to 10 a.m. on Thursday before for the last 27, 28 years.
Yeah, it's never really been a notable time.
It's never been notable.
It's like school, work, meetings, the usual. But now you get Monad in the morning every Thursday at 10 a.m.
Right. The closest was in third grade. I was in Mr. Keel's class. We had snack, but that was at 10:30.
I used to dread Thursdays. My mom we'd plan everything around watching Survivor.
Oh my goodness. Survivor. Did you ever watch Lost, Jessup?
Of course.
That was a good show.
That was a great show.
They actually
Terrible ending.
They put it on Netflix.
Recently?
Yeah, I watched the first half of the first episode. I've seen most of the show in the past.
Well, we have shows. There's shows on Netflix. There's shows at Monad, specifically Monad in the morning. This show, the morning show, and one of the things that people expect on Monad in the morning show, is the weekly news. What happened this week Monad?
What happened?
What happened in Monad? What happened in crypto? That's what we're gonna talk about right now. What did happen? We had Keone confirmed the total initial supply of the native gas token on the Monad blockchain network will be 100 billion. People had opinions on this. I'm not sure why. I didn't understand. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, this is really good or this is really bad.
Kind of just is.
It is an arbitrary number. There's not a lot of things that go into it. This should be helpful when people are spending gas, so it's not like 0.0000002 mon for transaction. It should be closer to numbers that we like to deal with in the everyday cryptosphere, or just like normal second, third grade math, like 0.01, things like that. So yeah.
Very, very low fees.
Low fees.
And now you will be able to more easily quantify those low fees with mental math.
The fees will make sense in your head.
There we go. We also wrapped up wave 2 of the Monad cards claim. So
yes.
I believe all cards the only cards that ever will be claimed have been claimed because the claim period is now closed.
The claim period's over.
It's over.
No one will ever claim a Monad card ever again. Full stop. End of sentence. Shut the show down. That's it. That's the end.
Wow.
But it's only the beginning. The end is really just the beginning for Monad cards moving forward. The Block, shout out The Block. They created Crypto IQ, which is kind of like a knowledge test quiz. Go check it out. They're gating it, so you need access. Tim Copeland, love you, Tim. Cheers, Tim. Ping me was like, do you think we could give Monad card holders, like give all of them access? And I was thinking, why would Tim want to do that? And it's because there's a pre-filtered community of real people that exist in crypto now, and they all have Monad cards. That's pretty valuable. You want to give real people that care about crypto access to something, just use the Monad cards list. Pretty good list.
And as I understand it, there's a prize.
I think you win $20,000.
A significant prize.
If
a very
you come in
significant
first.
prize.
So, likely if you're watching the show, you're a Monad community member, which means you don't have a Monad card. Sorry. I have like 20 access codes that I can give to people if they want to take the quiz. But $20,000 if you win. I heard that it was somewhat skewed towards Monad knowledge. So if you're watching this, you probably have a little bit of a leg up on the competition here.
Well, given you have some extra codes,
we have a wheel.
I was just gonna
and
say,
we are gonna
yeah.
Oh, put an
spin.
access code on the
Oh,
wheel.
We
Yes.
couldn't. We couldn't. Maybe we put multiple
Yes.
access codes on the wheel because one, it is a good prize. It is a very timely prize. It is limited in the number of prizes that we can give away.
It's scarce.
And we did no spins last week because we were remote on Monad in the morning.
Oh.
So we will bring back some extra spins at 11:30. The wheel is was down in the corner over there, but we'll get it up. We'll get some of these access code giveaways on the wheel, and if you stick around to the end, maybe, just maybe, you will be able to take the quiz and throw your hat in the ring for a $20,000 prize alongside
20,000
the
big
Monad
ones.
card holders. So pretty cool. And obviously, Monad community didn't get the cards, but if you went to the cards claim portal at any point, you did see we're saving the best for last.
Save
So-
the best for last. The community, they're like, what happened to, I thought community first. Well, in this case, it's community second. In this case, the cards were first. The community will be after. Chronologically,
they also weren't
community
wave
second.
2 either, so it'd be 3.
Yes, yes. So chronologically, it knocked community first,
In
but
our
or second.
cards,
the
community first.
Yes, it sound. Yes, exactly. What else? So wave 2 did close it as the end. Shout out to everyone that got a Monad card. I think on the wheel we should say chance at $20,000. Like that's how it should be framed. But in reality, it's an access code to take a test to potentially compete.
But it still is a chance. So
it
that
it is a true chance. What
that's
else
true.
happened? We had the NPM hack, allegedly just a backdoor in all of JavaScript. The Ledger CEO put out a tweet basically saying, hey, every single wallet on every single blockchain is hacked unless you use a ledger, which,
Except for
you know,
Monad.
yeah, I mean, look, you raise a few alarms when you say that if you send anything in crypto, you will lose your money. A lot of people are very scared for the course of 8 to 10 hours. The last I saw on it, there was like a total of $100 stolen. So
It's 50.
I saw 50 and then I saw 100 later. So I think maybe one other person lost 50. 100, but that's like one gas fee on Ethereum if there's an NFT mint going on. It could have been much, much worse.
When is the last time there was an NFT mint going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw Tunes when when Tunes comes into the office. Sometimes he just makes some comments. I think this was like 2-3 weeks ago. He's like, $100 fee on Ethereum right now. What the hell? Should I tweet this? And I was like, what? And you know what it was? It was the plasma presale that was spiking fees. So shout out to Tunes. If anyone is ever gonna catch Ethereum not acting properly, it is our good friend Cryptunes. Shout out Tunes. I know he's a longtime viewer of the show. What else? We had CPI this morning. If you had leverage above 20x, you almost certainly got wicked out and got liquidated. So prices are still about the same as they were before. Generally a good week overall. Gemini IPO. This is not one that I saw, but okay. Gemini IPO. They're looking to raise 400 million, looking at a 3 billion valuation.
And
Pretty good
potentially I think the third publicly traded U.S. centralized exchange.
Well, you know what people really like these days? It's being able to buy crypto exposure on the stock market. You have Coinbase ripping Circle out of nowhere. I think allegedly the most successful IPO of all time, or in like 20. Yeah, bullish ripped. We have a lot of these DATs going on. So basically a shell company that just buys a bunch of a token, then people trade the company. Yeah, not sure how I feel about that side. Mert had some cool commentary yesterday around stable coins and what Solana should look to be doing. Basically his take is, there's like $9 billion of USDC on Solana, and all of that interest is just going to fund Base, which he said was their number one competitor. It's a pretty good point. He's like, why don't we have our own? So sounds like Anatoly quote tweeted with 3 brain emojis. So it sounds like they are actually actively looking into this. So we have DATs, IPOs, NPM hack, Wave 2 closed, 100 billion monad native gas tokens.
It's a good week. And
It's a
now
great
we've
week.
got Joe calling in, Joe Takayama, one of the OG creators on the YouTube side of crypto, also working at Backpack Exchange. So pumped to chat with Joe. Jessup, I know you're adding some prizes to the wheel, but when you get a chance to free your hands, let us know if Joe's calling in. We can pop the headphones on.
Yep, Joe's here.
Awesome.
Check.
Hello.
Joe.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Ooh, we're getting a little echo here.
That's your. There we go.
Hello? Nice.
Bingo. All right.
Thank
It
you.
wouldn't be a monad in the morning if we didn't have some light technical difficulties, but I think we got it sorted. Joe, welcome to the show. Appreciate you calling in. I believe you're at the Monad Founder Residency at Network School in Malaysia right now. So appreciate you calling in, not during the morning, but pretty late into the evening, actually.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me. And also, thank you for having me as part of this initiative in Monad Founder Residency. I'm very excited to talk about and also things around myself today.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool to get your perspective as to what's going on at Founder Residency, how the experience has been, working with the team members at Monad Foundation and also some of the earlier stage startup founders that are building for mainnet currently. We obviously have some content coming out of Network School, but the majority of the content that's being produced on site, shout out Savant, our legendary video lead there at Network School. Most of that content is going to come out after the fact. So I think most of the Monad community and our audience watching the show today hasn't gotten too much of a look as to what's actually going on there. So would be curious for your perspective, Joe. How's it going?
Yeah. So I've been here about a little less than 2 weeks, and almost every day have multiple one-on-one with the Monad ecosystem founders. And all the people from Monad Foundation as well as Monad ecosystem as a founder, they're very, in a good way, aggressively talking to each other, negotiating, the partnerships, and also sometimes really harsh feedbacks in a good way, because we are here to be really nailing down and also getting prepared for the demo day and also fundraising and so on. So every day, a lot of positive energy, positive discussions, and a lot of good stuff happening.
Love it. I'm curious if there's any projects that have stood out to you in particular as you've gotten to interface with some of the founders, but anyone doing anything particularly cool or interesting that has you excited?
Maybe this is my personal, I think, preference and also my personal interest, because I have a TradFi background. There's a project called Mood Digital. They're tokenizing credit market, especially in Asia. And historically, credit market is really professional market, like for investors. So there are not many retail investors playing in the game, and also that market was not even available to or accessible to outside of the financial institutions. But then, I think credit market, if it's in the US, there's a lot of liquidity and also a lot of players. But in Asia, this is not the US. So I believe compared to other regions, relatively less liquid. So, if we can open up some liquidity to maybe retails or some other potential investors that has not been having the access to it, that is going to be really helpful for the Asian credit market. So I like the concept. Still, I think we have some things that we have to sort out. However, um, I think direction is great, and also the regulatory standing from the U.S. side is going to positively affect ones in Asia, I believe. So yeah, I really like the approach and also potential of the projects.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out the Mu Digital team. I know they've really dove in headfirst at Network School. They're not only working to ship and refine the product as fast as possible, but I've seen a lot of content coming out from their founders, their team, and I know Savant on site there has captured quite a bit of footage with them, which we look forward to sharing with the community before too long. I also have been pretty interested by the project Ravo, who was there, I think, for the first cohort. So you may not have overlapped with them, Joe, but Ravo is doing a pretty cool approach where they have glasses similar to the Ray-Ban Meta glasses with the built-in camera and smart sensors and all that stuff. And I think not only will we have them on Monad in the morning soon, but I hope to get a pair of those glasses. But overall, it's just pretty cool to see a lot of teams really working quite hard, getting that direct, actionable feedback, getting their products ready for mainnet. It certainly is an exciting time, and it's a time where a lot of things are moving very quickly, not just in the Monad ecosystem, but in crypto more broadly. And obviously, Joe, you've been a participant and a contributor to the crypto space for quite a while, and very directly on the media side as well. So would love to hear a bit about what that overall journey has been like for you in crypto as a creator and a builder. Obviously being one of the first very large YouTubers in the space has to lend some interesting perspective, I would think.
Yeah, so thank you. A little bit about myself. So I work for Backpack as BD partnership since this April. Before that, I'm still running my YouTube channel in crypto, which is the biggest channel in Japan. And beforehand, I was working for a hedge fund and doing the credit derivatives and also equity investments and also private equity. And the last one is the investment banking. For about 10 years in total, I was in TradFi. So I think a lot of people, like in the space now, have a lot of banking experiences. But I think in Asia, or at least in Japan, that was not really the case, especially among the content creators. So that was something that got attention from the, I think, audience. And I started my content creation 2021. And that was the last bull cycle. And then, I think around that time, there was not many content creators compared to now. And then around that time, I think content was only, I believe, available on the YouTube. Just some bloggers on X, or they have a personal blogs, but they're not like now. I think now everywhere, like TikTok, X live stream, Twitch like this, and also like so many long form, short form, and now AI is kicking in. So anybody can create contents despite like their experiences or no experience. So I think the content has been accelerating, and also the growth. And now I think necessary for a lot of projects. A lot of projects now have a sophisticated products, but then it's getting really competitive in terms of product quality, but how you sell is getting really more attention. So for the past 4 years, the dynamics has been changing, and also around I think what I've been doing, the environment has been really changing. Not just how people create contents, but also my positioning has been quite dynamic for the past 4 years.
Do you think it's still a good opportunity for people in crypto to start creating content now? Obviously, like talking about the fact that it's become much more saturated. There's a lot more creators. Many more projects are looking to bring on videographers and media related folks to contribute to the project. It's obviously harder to command attention when there's more creators, there's more content, and the production is just so much easier than it was, even 2, 3, 4 years ago. For you, my assumption is the path to creating content and growing that YouTube channel has opened up a lot of opportunities in the crypto space. But for maybe someone who's a little bit newer, do you still think that opportunity exists?
Yeah, totally. That's kind of equivalent question saying like is it too late to buy Bitcoin? The content is still really early in this crypto market, and also I think quality of the content is really getting better. But then now, because a lot of technology is accessible and the market is getting bigger and bigger, and also traditional finance and I think crypto is going to merge in together. So our potential market is going to be massively expanding. So we need more creators. We need more contents to support projects or to reach out to so-called newbies or like everyone in the world. So from that perspective, totally yes. And also in Web 2 or traditional other industry, those media or content creators, they became really huge. And also they run VC funds and those things like that. So they became really big. Like sometimes we think, some people have 2 million followers, 3 million followers in crypto, they're like massive. But then in traditional markets, the market is much, much bigger. And then those players are doing a lot bigger business or, they have an influence. So I believe content creators here in crypto have still much bigger potential compared to what we think. And also, I guess this opportunity is quite open for everyone.
Joe, if you were starting out today, say you're Joe Takayama, but you're 22 years old, right? You're smart, handsome, ambitious, but you don't have your name out there yet. Would you go the path of content creator to fund manager? It seems like you get to just have fun and skip all the hard stuff and then hopefully make a lot of money. Like that sounds like a pretty good path.
I'm not sure because when I start this content creation, I couldn't imagine what I'm doing at this moment. At the beginning, I was just making content for fun, and sometimes a project reached me out, hey, are you interested in making content for the project, and so on. But around that time, I didn't have anyone who teach me how to monetize the content or how to work with the project, how to reach out to the project. And I still remember when I went to conference for the first time, and then I said, "Oh, I run a YouTube." They're like, "Okay, so what?" I'm like, "Okay, people are not really interested, the contents." And around that time, my channel was really still small, so obviously that was one of the reasons. But then, so around that time, I wasn't sure. And then if I still, let's say, don't have anyone on my channel as a follower, not sure. But then If I can advise to Joe, 22 years old, ambitious, I probably can teach how, things could change. But then I think those things, even if somebody teach you, I probably don't believe. Or I went to Morgan Stanley and did the hedge fund trading for the first career. That was too good to be true for me. So if I tell my, me like myself in a college life, you can work for the hedge fund at Morgan Stanley. I don't really believe. So I think those things you have to kind of, break into it yourself, and then you actually have to learn and make it happen. But I still want to say, creator in this market is very scarce. And if you make a good content, it doesn't have to be with a large follower. You definitely stand out, because I see a lot of good creators with the like just 1,000 followers on YouTube or X. If I can, definitely want to hire and work together. Yeah.
You are. We push this all the time on the show, so all of the repeat listeners are very used to this mindset. If you're watching, create some content, clip something. You will stand out. We got Q. I see Q on my feed all the time now.
Q
just made a clip. What, did he put like some words over a video? It couldn't have taken that long. He just put it out. And now he's one of the staples. We're like, we got Q. Yeah. There's a lot of spots for this. There's a lot. It's in a world of AI slop, real people will stand out. I'll tell you that for free.
Yes, especially if you are able to distinguish yourself and the content that you create from that AI slop. If someone can look at your content and be like, wow, oh, this is clearly created by an actual human being with their own unique thoughts and interests and whatnot, like that's the stuff that's going to stand out. If you create something that's indistinguishable from AI slop, even if it was human created, it doesn't really matter, because you have to stand out. And I think that's like pretty prevalent across the board in crypto at this stage, as more serious players are coming into the space. Back 4 or 5 years ago, you could kind of just enter into crypto and say, oh, I'm going to do this thing. Like, oh, I'm going to start a media agency. And maybe you had no media experience, but you also had no competition at that stage. And there was so much money flowing around the space that you could probably convince someone to give you $250,000 to run a media company with zero experience. And
shout out Danny Pipelines.
But like those days are, kind of not fully over, but it's less that Wild West open playing field that it was a few years ago. But that's overall good for crypto, because that means that we have more actual value in the space and not just fluff. So
I would say like Vikru is a great example of somebody who is just doing something like nobody is doing what he's doing, and he stands out completely different from everybody else.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. If I was like someone that wanted to gain the attention of people who are excited about Monad, say I was building an app in the Monad ecosystem, I would sign a partnership with Vikru. I'd be like, dude, just like put our logo in the corner and just like shout us out in a second tweet, and we'll pay you for it.
Yeah,
like why would you not?
100%. Joe, if you haven't seen Vikru, he is a legendary Monad community member that does all these cosplays. So he'll dress up as different Monad characters, and he'll sometimes dress up as a crypto person's PFP and do like a dance or maybe just post a photo. But Vikru is very creative and very entertaining, and that is exactly, I think, what we're getting at. Like, do something you find interesting, have a good time with it, and do something that no one else is doing.
Yeah, and speaking of taking a photo that is creative and entertaining, there is a very famous photo taken from the Backpack headquarters like 2 or 3 years ago that has now gone viral and is synonymous with tech bro workers. And it was Armani and Tristan and the Backpack team working. We have Joe, who is working on Backpack. I would love to talk about Backpack. So I would say I'm going to take a guess at what the average person watching the stream knows about Backpack, and then we can build from there. Right? They know Backpack is a wallet. They probably know it's like the second most popular wallet, only behind Phantom for Solana users. But there are other chains that you can also use from Backpack. They might know that Backpack is also an exchange, and that is actually the fastest growing part of the business. But Joe, would love to hear from you. What is kind of the current state of Backpack, and what are you looking forward to over the next, 6 months here for Backpack's growth?
Yeah, thank you for asking. This week, we just expanded into EU as an exchange. We got the license, and then we are the only second centralized exchange after Kraken to provide perpetual perpetual trading. And we got the MiFID II license, which is the same license as Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, all the other prominent players in the financial industry. So we can provide all kinds of security businesses. And afterwards, it's already stated in the a lot of newspapers and so on. We are going to Japan and the US for the rest of the year or early next year. So geographically expanding into different regions. I think while we spending a lot of time in Asia, we try to polish our product and also risk engines and so on. Something that probably you cannot see from by just looking at the screen. So this process has been pretty I think we spent a lot of time and then improved the quality quite a lot. So now it's time to really expand into different regions. And this is something we're very, very excited about. Yeah.
World domination.
In
2 words, if you were trying to follow what Joe said there, in 2 words, what he said was world domination.
Yeah, I got to give some flowers to the Backpack team on the wallet side as well. It's I don't know exactly when I started using Backpack Wallet, but it is my everyday hot wallet, and it's probably the crypto product that I use the most at this point. And I think it's first of all just a great product. It does what you need it to do. It's intuitive. It's quick and easy to access. Obviously, there's the connectivity on the exchange side of things as well, but wallets are a pretty sticky product in crypto. It's pretty hard to get users to switch from one wallet to another. Once they do switch, however, you get the benefit of that stickiness. So I think it was really just a lot of conviction in the team and excitement about what Backpack stands for, the story behind the company and what the team really believes in. We've had Armani on the show here at least once, and
he's actually the conception of the show.
Yes. We've had Armani on the show technically twice. First, it was a Twitter space. Now it's a live stream. We've had him on both formats, and Armani's been super supportive of Monad ecosystem from a very early stage. But I also think the fundamentals of what the Backpack team is building for and what the Backpack team believes in is very much so Monad aligned. There's this real value for decentralization on both the Backpack side and the Monad side as well. And, that's becoming more rare these days. So just had to call that out. Huge props to the Backpack team, not only for building great products, but really for weathering some of the most extreme ups and downs that crypto could offer, and doing so in a way that's very much so aligned with the growth of the space in a positive direction. So shout out the entire team, all the contributors on the Backpack side. And I don't know if you're able to give us any insight, Joe, but as part of this world domination expansion for Backpack, is there anything upcoming on the horizon that we can talk about?
I think those unlocking to region is really the biggest ones. But the others, I think it's better to hear from Amani, also the official announcement, because there are like many things lining up, and there are many priorities, and depending on the timing, some come early and some come later. So I think please tune into the official channel.
Love it. Love it. Well, worth a shot. We love to give the community as much alpha as we can here on Monad in the morning. But yeah, definitely stay tuned to the backpack side of things. Team is shipping. Lot of progress being made there.
Speaking of staying tuned, we have had Savant and Jussup staying tuned to the chat of the community over the course of the show so far, and we have some questions. People need to win wheel spins. The people have questions for Joe that we want to ask. I realized I just wanted to hit that like transition. I didn't know if there was anything still going.
That was a great transition, Kevin. Nice.
I've been studying the tape on some other live shows that have similar formats to this, and they look to do that. Usually they're transitioning into ads and sponsors, but we'll practice it. We'll see. Joe, we have a lot of questions for you. People are very interested to get the information out of your brain and into their own. So we can try to kind of rapid fire through a few of them. But the first one is from AFin Dubai or AF in Dubai. What do we think on that? I'm going to go AF in Dubai. Yeah. AF in Dubai says, question for Joe Takayama. What are the possibilities for Backpack to use Monad's blockchain tech? What will Backpack and Monad potentially do in the future?
Well, what are we going to do in the future?
Yeah, like if someone has Backpack, can they use Monad, or are there any plans around Monad in the future? Like, yeah, kind of what's the current state of that?
Yeah, of course. We're going to support Monad from day one. It's publicly, we already announced it. And then also, we've been quite, trying to, thank you, support, as an ecosystem. So that's why I'm here. And also, we've been consistently talking to the project for the potential collaboration, how we can work together. And also, I'm trying to make contents with the Monad ecosystem team. So content's coming out, lots of collaboration. And yeah, I mean, I can't cover like so many things. And also, I really resonate the Monad approach to build a community, not just the community side, but also the builder side. So a lot of collaboration happening. Yeah, can't wait to see all of them.
I think that's actually something that's maybe underrated a little bit, because it's very easy on Twitter to get visibility into the Monad social layer, the content creators, the kind of general community contributors. But the Monad community actually is much broader than what you see on the timeline. There's a really strong community that's started to form amongst builders. There's a ton of inter-ecosystem collaboration projects looking to run go-to-market campaigns together, co-market together, do cool things, and also have kind of native integrations between different products in the Monad ecosystem, which I think just ultimately lends itself to a more cohesive ecosystem long term. So definitely excited to see that momentum, and I think it's worth calling out that the Monad community definitely is broader than what you see on the timeline.
Yeah, I feel I almost like the part of the Monad team.
Let's go. Joe, we got another question coming at you from the Monad community as a whole, but TBA Sovan as an individual. Shout out Sovan. Is Sovan VIP yet in the show? He should be.
I'm pretty sure he is.
He's got to be VIP. Sovan with the question of the minute. What was the most hard part of building content in the early days when most people didn't know about it yet, or about your channel yet?
So at the beginning, nobody watched your content. Nobody really cares. But then, still have to make every day, improve every day, and so on. So no attention, no one's watching. You cannot make money out of it. But then editing, shooting, so much effort. But keep going. So that is the hardest part. I used to make 4 videos a day because I used to have two channels, and everyone make just 1 video a day, or like 3-4 videos a week. So I thought, okay, I'm a little bit behind. I'm a late comer, so I probably do double. So I've been doing it for about 2.5 years, and I was working around that time for different companies. So every day, sleep was 3-4 hours. But I kept going, kept hitting the button to upload. So that was the really hardest part. But there was nobody who was doing it, so I think that's why my channel grew. Um, that was the hardest part, but also that was the easiest way of expanding my channel, actually. So yeah, that was a little bit trivia.
I think you bring up a good point on like the consistency that's required to grow something, and also the fact that you're not necessarily going to see the impact or the growth every single day, especially with content creation and trying to build up that critical mass and get an initial following going. Like, you're going to put out a lot of content that feels like it's not being watched, and you kind of have to be bought in for a little bit of the longer term for that growth to be realized. And it's also hard in crypto, right? Because a lot of people come in and the goal is like, how can I retire my entire bloodline by next Tuesday? And so we don't tend to have a really long-term mindset collectively as in industry, but for a lot of efforts to ultimately be valuable, consistency and kind of playing this long-term game is really key. And that's a theme that's quite prevalent at Monad Foundation and in the Monad ecosystem more broadly, and it comes directly from the co-founders. Like, the reason that Keone and James and Eunice started Monad was not to work on shipping a blockchain for 1 year or 2 years, but it's really to make a meaningful contribution that pushes the crypto space forward over the course of decades.
50 years.
50 years, 100 years, maybe even a millennia. Who knows?
100 billion years.
100 billion
100
years.
billion native gas tokens on the Monad blockchain to start in the initial supply.
So yeah, we joke, but it is true at the end of the day. Like, you are not going to clip one episode of Monad in the morning and then gain 100,000 followers overnight. Maybe you could have gotten lucky and that would have worked in 2021, but not these days. Like, the consistency and quality is quite key. And I think, if you're going to start doing something as a community member or as like a contributor to the ecosystem, you should at least do something that you're comfortable, being consistent on, and, something that you'll be interested in not only this week, but next week and next month too. So.
Yeah. And follow the signal. I mean, look at Vicar. I don't know what Vicar's first cosplay was, but he probably dressed up and got way more likes than he thought. He's like, I'm going to keep doing this. And then he got better at it. So if you're posting a ton of stuff and none of it works, and then one thing kind of hits harder, like, pull on that thread a little bit. Move in that direction. We have more questions from the community for Joe Takayama, famous YouTuber, backpack aficionado. Furfer9992 asks, what kind of crypto content is getting the most attention these days? And you can either answer this from what you're seeing on Twitter or YouTube, or from what is working for yourself. But like, whatever direction you would like to take this in is fully okay.
Yeah, I guess crypto. People are interested in crypto because of a lot of financial incentives. Tech is fun part, but I think most of the people, this is one of like uh, way of like making money, which is great. This is another financial market, and that's why a lot of people are coming in as a player or as investors and so on. So trading related is always the number one content that generates views and so on. Um, yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be trading related, but somebody who has a view or who just have an opinion about Bitcoin or crypto potentially or whatever, just they generally share what Bitcoin is or what your opinion about Bitcoin, where price goes. Those are really like hot take on TikTok because I think TikTok probably you don't want to talk about something difficult. So like something fun, also great. So either something like really catchy in terms of visual or trading related. Yeah.
Joe, I'm curious what you think about this like internet capital markets meta. Because it's been a topic that's widely debated, mostly on the Solana side, with a lot of streamers coming into Pump.Fun. On the base ecosystem side of things with Zora and Coinit. And it is a little bit divisive, I think, but at the end of the day, more and more creators are coming into crypto and they have this opportunity through the inherent financialization of crypto that now, rather than live streaming for an audience of 0 people or 1 person for the first month or 2 months of your streaming journey, you can probably get, up to 100 people or more watching your first ever live stream. Now, that also means that you've likely launched a token that is in some way correlated to that content, which obviously comes with its own benefits and drawbacks in terms of like sustainability and long-term growth. But it is certainly a fact that more creators than ever are coming into crypto as a result of the internet capital markets meta and these new streaming and content creation products built on blockchain rails. Curious what you think about the current state of that and also where it might go in the coming months or years.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite topics. And it's all about liquidity. And these tokenized product, we call it real world asset and different ways, but it's just a derivative of financial product. So this is nothing new, but we just call it differently, or we try to make it or sound a little bit more like fancy, so that people may think, oh wow, this is something new. But then it's all about liquidity. Now a lot of people talk about tokenized equity, tokenized bond, tokenized money market. Where is the liquidity? Mostly money market is the first one. The other one is treasury, which is the American bond. And also afterwards, maybe credit market, which is the corporate bond. And afterwards, I believe equity. So first we have to unlock one by one. I know a lot of people are excited about a new product coming ahead, but then we have to take steps because liquidity is very limited and also scarce. However, this is really every financial institutions want to come in. So maybe some market slows, some market very quickly growing, but this is definitely 100% it's going to grow. And this is what they want, what the BlackRock and what the Goldman and what the Morgan Stanley want. So yeah, 100%. I'm going to be all in.
Oh yeah. Actually, it's funny. I had a conversation with one. I don't think you're allowed. I don't know how the rules work when you talk to these guys. One of those large banks yesterday, actually, and they were saying very similar things, that every single person is in there and playing. Most have their own unique strategy, but they all kind of rhyme with each other, right? Derivatives, financial markets, put it on crypto and buy exposure to the underlying is kind of what you would expect. But just a little data to back up what you were saying, Joe. I do have one more question. This one I picked selfishly because it is one of my favorite topics. Kind of the USA versus Asia versus Europe type of commentary is some of the stuff that I think is most entertaining on the internet. So Deca Tan asks, Joe, from your perspective, can Web3 founders from Asian countries match or even surpass the innovation and execution we often see from the US? And I think it hits at a broader kind of topic of like crypto startups in Asia versus the US. And the markets are pretty different, and most people only have perspective into one of them. But yeah, in your opinion, Web3 founders from Asian countries, can they compete with the ones from US? And kind of what does that look like in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And then a lot of people talk about it from time to time. And I believe founders from the US side or Western countries, they are very good at making infrastructures. They have a long-term visions, and also they have a large capital market. And then, so they're, I think, really incentivized to build those products or ecosystem. And so that, I think a lot of time that's why a lot of L1 founders are Westerns or Americans. They like to capture all these like revenues or network effect of fundamental, the infrastructure. However, when it comes to application, especially financial applications, almost all the popular ones are coming out of Asia or Asian founders. They really listen to what users want, and also they very much understand what users want. So almost all the application wise, there's coming from Asia. So I think it just depends on what type of products they're good at. And also, Asians are, I think, the majority of the users in terms of volume. I think, they have users actually around them. So they have a lot of reference points and get the feedback like daily. And I think a lot of time the feedback from Asia, they're very like direct or sometimes harsh. So then they get the really good feedback. Yeah, I think that's what's happening, and there's no like which is better or which is worse. I think everyone has a different strong point or weak point. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Love that. Danny, any final thoughts for Joe?
No final thoughts specifically, but definitely gratitude. Joe, appreciate you carving out some time to join us on Monad in the morning, live from the Monad founder residency at Network School. Wishing you a great rest of the week there, and looking forward to a lot of the content that will come out of Network School as well. But for now, thank you very much for joining us on Monad in the morning. We are going to cut to a very quick break, and then we will be back with 0x Sins to talk about Cambria, the Echo group that is focused on the Monad ecosystem. So if you are watching, stick with us. We will be right back. But thank you very much, Joe, for joining us on Monad in the morning. Would love to run it back soon.
Yeah, please let us get some W's in the chat for Joe.
Thank you.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you.
And we are so back. 11:06 a.m. Eastern, roughly halfway through Monad in the morning. We have another banger guest queued up. Let's get him on stage. Without further ado, it is 0xSins. You know him from the Monad community. You know him from the timeline. And now you know him from Monad in the morning, leading efforts for the Cambria Echo Group. Sins, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great to be here. Long time listener. First.
Is this a doxing event?
No. Been on camera a few times.
Got
back in the wormhole ecosystem call days. I've also posted pictures of myself, so I'm definitely in a weird spot when it comes to my pseudo anonymity. Might just rip the band-aid off and go full first name in a couple months. I've thought about it for a long time. So.
You want it? So yeah, I've been thinking about it as well.
You're in an interesting spot, Kev.
I know. I've been. I was actually going to pose this question to the Monad community. So maybe if you're listening now, not
as close.
If you're listening now and have an opinion on this, I've thought about maybe like leading into mainnet launch, changing the Twitter handle to Kevin. I don't think I would ever move away from the Penguin, but I don't know. We'll see.
Wow, the intern arc. The intern arc is over. Could be over.
Well, what were you talking about then, Sins? If we're not talking about the same thing.
No, I was gonna say you can be Kevin, but you don't have to lose the at. I think
no. Keep the at. Of course, keep the at. It would just be like Kevin mainnet arc, maybe.
I like it. Well, maybe I'll have to do the same.
Oh wait, you are not name doxed, correct?
No, I am. I'm Thomas.
Okay.
AKA Sins.
And you were also in a pipeline vlog from Singapore Token 2049 last year, I believe, right?
I definitely was. It's some good lore. That was a fun week.
Thomas, run the train, Sins. We have one thing we need to ask you first. You are currently in a trading competition. I'm in the same competition. It's Bullpen's trading competition. They got about 65 people all competing on perps. The last time I checked, you were in first place out of everyone. How does that feel?
Feels great. I mean,
what's the strategy?
I've had a mixed history trading perps, so it's nice to get some like public validation that I'm not completely useless. And yeah, shout out the Bullpen team and specifically Kat for organizing quite an event. You know, there's a belt that goes to the winner. I think that's probably the most exciting piece, and then a cash prize. I think also some equity in Bullpen, which is interesting. So it's been fun. My strategy has I've held two positions. I think in like the top. I might be the lowest volume in the entire trading competition for anyone that's put a position up. There are people I know that haven't. So yeah, just kind of two position gun from the beginning. Both are short positions in layer one blockchains. I don't know how that bodes for this, but very different kind of setups. A little more speculative projects, and so just taking advantage of some upside that they might have seen in the past couple of days. Maybe some of the action that they've seen as a little. I deemed it semi-artificial and took an opinion on that, and the trades seem to be aging well. So yeah, it's fun, and always great to trade against friends and track live performance. It's exhilarating.
Can you, on Monday morning, we like to name names. We named the show after the blockchain. Can at least one of them, can you get like, who are you shorting here?
So one of the names is a story IP. I think like that is it's not a wild position. I think like some of the price action that they've been seeing has been unbelievable, I think is like a nice neutral word to use. Some people understand it, a lot of people don't. I'm probably on the the latter team, and so expressing that view in the markets. And yeah, I think that just goes, power of decentralized systems, right? I think we bicker a lot on the social layer, but like everyone has the tools to express their opinions financially, and I think it's one of the cooler things that you can do. So yeah, maybe instead of, some people like might crash out on the timeline, others, hit the order books, and you just have to decide like what arc you want to take.
Well, we really like your arc. I am certainly rooting for you to win the competition. I had through 65. I'm in like 20th, I think. So I'm there. Hopefully, mine is actually a meme coin, so I won't throw it out there. But my liquidation is at 79 cents. I'm thinking this thing goes to $1. And if it does, then I will be giving you
bottom.
That'll be a generational bottom. As long as this bounces, we'll hit $1.
Oh, I wonder what that could be.
Well,
I was going to say, the only reason Sins is in first is because I was not invited to participate in this trading competition. So, Sins, you are a very lucky man that you're not going PvP with me in the order books. But
they call him
hats
Open
off
Danny
to you.
for a reason.
Hats off to you.
All right,
we
so
got to hear about Cambria. There's obviously a huge appetite across the board to invest in the Monad ecosystem. There's been over $100 million from VCs flowing into projects that are building on Monad. Huge appetite amongst the retail community to find the best products that are going to launch on Monad mainnet. And it is crypto, so obviously across the board, there's appetite to get exposure. One of the new vehicles to potentially get that exposure is the Echo platform, and obviously your leading efforts on the Cambria side. So would love to hear a little bit about what that actually is and the opportunity that it creates for the Monad community.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say Cambria came to life about 6 or 7 months ago. I've I guess some backstory. Have gotten the opportunity to be a fly on the wall when it comes to Monad's growth as a community member, and as a friend to Kevin and some other team members. I don't know if we're doing like personal lore, Kev, but we've known each other for a long time, pre crypto. Well, pre crypto arcs. I think we played Fortnite together a few times back in back in the day, and then we crossed paths. Yeah.
I have to jump in for one quick second because it is hilarious that is true. Is pre-crypto Fortnite arc. Danny and I are also pre-crypto and also would play Fortnite together. It seems like I have a pretty good hit rate of people that I played Fortnite with before they were crypto coming to the industry. But sorry, continue.
No, I'm glad you jumped in there. So yeah, we crossed paths again in college / university, undergrad, masters, and we were both, I think, in similar positions in our crypto journeys. This was 2020, so still a little bit early. Both, I think we were both exploring, and yeah, I think we just kept in touch over the years. Both of us pursued careers full time in crypto, which was, a unique decision 5 years ago. Hopefully, a little more consensus and de-risked now, but certainly when our classmates asked us like what the hell we were doing, telling them that we worked in crypto wasn't always like the most popular answer. And yeah, so my first job was at an accelerator. We worked closely with foundations of infrastructure providers to do ecosystem focused programs. That taught me a lot, gave me a lot of exposure to the ways that different L1s, L2s, other kind of middleware, how those foundations work, how they think about ecosystem growth, was like very formative in kind of my crypto journey. And then most recently was joined the team over at the Wormhole Foundation. I'm not currently full-time at the foundation, and actually not full-time for, in crypto for the first time in a while. Cambria is my baby currently. So a little bit of a founder arc, which is exciting and hard. So shout out to all the founders, both people who have co-founders and solo founders. I've learned the lessons and difficulties of trying to undertake an endeavor on your own. It's not easy, but yeah, you used the right word, Danny. I think vehicle is like the most general term that I've used, because I think my goal is to kind of constantly evolve this thing. In its simplest form, Cambria right now is just an echo group. I got the opportunity to talk about retail community fundraising to the Monad residency, which was an awesome opportunity for me. So shout out Perrine and everyone involved there. So yeah, I would say a confluence of factors have led us, have realigned us more on the community side, whether it's regulatory clarity or because someone like Kobe says so. That was Kobe and his endeavors around Echo certainly carry weight. And, if someone with, that much clout's like, all right, this is going to be a thing, generally it has a higher odds of being a thing. So I feel that way about, community and crowdfunding. And yeah, I took a kind of thesis on Monad December of 2022, introduced by Sir Kev, and have again been a community member, participated in many of the first activations ever. So I was officially snubbed in the first Monad meme competition. I think Danny ended up winning that one, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I mean, I personally thought I was a winner. My meme had lore, had history in the community, and so I'm upset that didn't get taken into consideration. But we're here today, and yeah, I think something that you guys preach, not just on the kind of media content creation side, is, and I think Bill also does a good job of this, but you like bias for action as a community member, right? Like if you feel that you want to be seen and be heard and express an opinion, you can hit the order book, or you can build. And I think I've done both actually. So it's interesting, but yeah, I thought I had a skill set, had an opinion, and thought there was a certain way I wanted to see things be done, and kind of took it upon myself. So yeah, a vehicle. I think that one of the one side of ecosystem building is kind of attracting app builders, but I think there's kind of another like more unspoken area, which is just getting good people to care about your ecosystem. And I think I'm a good person, and I care about the Monad ecosystem, and there was opportunities, and Echo was an easy one. And so yeah, Cambria is a Echo group in its current form focused on the Monad ecosystem. We do not take carry on deals, and so the only fee that someone will pay is the 5% management fee on the platform. I'm supported by some awesome investors in Monad and general other Monad contributors that help me kind of parse through the ecosystem, meet builders, get context on builders, take opinions on apps and verticals and theses. And so yeah, get to see a lot. I think the progress that the ecosystem has made is amazing, pre-product, pre-mainnet. And so I'm excited for the first 6 months, but I'm probably more excited for the everything after that point, a year in, 2 years in. I think that's where ecosystems really hit their inflection point. And so yeah, long-term oriented, and looking forward to be able to build and support some of the people that have made early bets on Monad.
Yeah, it's I love how you think about it from such a long-term perspective, because it is so different in the pre-mainnet phase compared to like everything that happens post-mainnet, and even the ability to build up so much community momentum, such a spotlight amongst the crypto natives is a relatively new thing. Like 5 years ago, blockchains weren't launching with a massive community and, you know, multiple years worth of like ecosystem building. There were no real opportunities to invest in app teams prior to mainnet because the majority of those apps had not even like publicly committed to build on that chain. And so now that's quite different. And, you know, it definitely accelerates the pre-mainnet opportunity, but I definitely agree that like post-mainnet is when you see the real kind of long-term minded contributors doubling down on their conviction, looking to really build something for the future. And it's definitely exciting to think about how Cambria and the community that participates in that group can really benefit for the long term, and then also add a lot of value to the Monad ecosystem. And I think that's one of the coolest parts. You get this kind of like this give and take where opportunity is created, but opportunities created for the community, but also for the ecosystem itself. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on how that might like evolve in a post mainnet world, or if you're keeping that a little closer to the chest for now.
No, I think my message to the community, and you know, this will, I'll be curious to see how this will be taken, but like I think that thinking the first 6 months in any new ecosystem as like Candyland is a little naive. Again, I'm really looking at, you know, past that point, first year, second year as like the real test. And so once mainnet launches, I think we're still in a warm-up phase, and I think we can really, you know, be kind of retrospective after the first or second year. I think anything before that is too early, and I know that's hard to say in crypto because we are so, you know, short-term oriented. You mentioned this already on this call, Danny, but yeah, I think that is my thought, whether it's a warning or, you know, just a word from the wise as someone who, you know, was a day one participant in other ecosystems. Some, you know, whether it was Say or Solana a few years ago, whether it's some of the new kind of chain launches. Again, I think from a Monad perspective, what excites me the most is kind of the immense programming and support for builders. I find that the more and more that I talk about Monad as kind of, you know, someone that does not work for the foundation, but is really excited and interested in the ecosystem, I find, you know, me talking about my theses quite a lot. And you know, I've been, you know, it's a blessing for people to kind of care what I have to say. So don't take that kind of responsibility lightly. But yeah, I genuinely find myself talking less and less about like the tech and the performance, and more about, you know, the programming and the resources that builders have, like a very like YC oriented, you know, kind of, and that comes from the top, right? I think Keone very much instilled that from day one, and you guys as you know, as a team have kind of taken that and run with it, which couldn't be more exciting. I think, as I said, like from some of my previous experiences, you see a lot of the you know, particularly at the accelerator level, like you see a lot of the inefficiencies, and you see a lot of like the lack of clarity that many of these like large foundations have about their ecosystem. And, you know, I didn't really get that with Monad and the Monad Foundation, where the goals were clear, like the, you know, the work ethic was even more clear. And so I think that is just genuinely a powerful combination that continues to excite me.
So, Thomas, Mr. Sins, speaking about Monad and your thesis, I'm sure that's been good for your Kaido Yaps score as well. Just want to throw it out there. They do not monitor and scrape the show here, but we do appreciate the kind words regardless. We have a couple questions from the community, so I'll sprinkle these in while I think Danny also has other questions to ask. So maybe we'll go back and forth here a little bit. This question stands out to me because of the name of the person who asked it, but the question itself is also pretty good. We have a question from Zin Kiddo, who says, what's the criteria when you are looking for teams for Cambria? How do you kind of do that selection process?
Yeah, great question. I think the interesting thing about, I'll start kind of 10,000 foot. I would say the hard thing about community fundraising is you really need teams with some social context. They've done a few rounds of marketing. They've done a few rounds of community building. There are people that are excited about the product. And so that is a filter. That's probably the first filter, right? Because the community, they're not venture investors. Yes, they are risking their capital to invest in these early stage rounds, but I think they are a little more interested in kind of consensus bets, de-risked bets that they feel like, okay, this team has done enough to where I think they will be successful. And so that's probably the first criteria. One, it's a team with a community that is interested in, staking their money with said team. And I think that's like the highest level of respect or community member that you can actually have, right? A community member that's kind of willing to tie up their personal capital long term. And then the Monad side, I think, is clear. So first is general social consensus. And I think the other side of the coin is I'm really looking for teams that have committed socially right now and culturally and verbally to Monad. And that criteria will be more clear once mainnet is launched. But we obviously have a huge pipeline of teams that have committed to building day one on Monad, and so that narrows it even more. And then I think there are a number of different kind of verticals that we can look at. I think there's teams that are more DeFi native, products that people will have interacted with in the past and understood. So perp dexes, aggregators dexes, and then I think you have this new school of like net new approach, whether it's social, consumer, IP creator, and I think it's my job to just find the best teams, right? I'm not really here seeking venture returns as someone representing Cambria, but I think my MO is find the best teams at the best valuations and give the community, Monad ecosystem, Monad community members and Monad kind of ecosystem contributors and fans at large, an opportunity to invest in said teams. So I think that's how I think about that. But yeah, I think the social consensus part is particularly important in community retail fundraising.
I think you make a couple of great points, and I think the broader theme here ultimately is that like it's actually really, really hard to build a startup, whether you're building an app or a game or an infrastructure product. It's really challenging. And historically in crypto, there's been this notion of just like throwing money at the wall and investing and supporting pipe dreams. I think that is really no longer happening just because of the amount of capital that's been essentially wasted in the space and just eviscerated, right?
Yeah.
And so
completely.
like when you talk about team selection for Echo and who is going to have a round on the Cambria group, or when you talk about ecosystem support at Monad Foundation, I think there's this common theme of a much higher level of rigor than the crypto space has seen previously. And, when I sit in on meetings with the ecosystem team at Monad Foundation, and, huge shout out to the ecosystem team and leadership and Perrine and Tina, the level of rigor that they are looking at these startups with is much different than anything that I've ever seen before in the crypto space. And the intent is to actually help the teams to specifically devote resources to the teams that have the best shot of bringing in new users to the Monad ecosystem, creating new experiences on top of Monad that are better than what we've seen in crypto historically. And that's really hard to do. It's the reason why the vast majority of accelerators and grant funds have really kind of left a lot to be desired in crypto for the past 4 or 5 years. So it's really exciting, as much as it is challenging, to really assess these products across the board. Are you building community? Do you have a strong go-to-market strategy? Is your product unique? Do you have enough runway to make it to next month? So kind of looking at the ecosystem holistically, I think really doubling down on the projects that are shipping really fast, showing strong signs of potential for the future is just the way that this stuff has to be done. And to see that approach being taken pre-mainnet on the ecosystem side from Monad Foundation and ecosystem builders is awesome. And I'm equally excited to see, that level of rigor on the Cambria side of things, because obviously echo groups and community crowdfunding can be a massive opportunity for retail to get exposure to an early startup. But if that level of rigor doesn't exist, then ultimately those community members, those investors are just going to get burned, right? So I think across the board, that's a really important theme. And I think that's going to be kind of a cornerstone of the Monad ecosystem in a post-mainnet world, where the projects that are getting investment, the projects that are getting support, the projects that are seeing the most growth are the ones ultimately with the highest potential to truly make an impact on the space.
100%.
What's the community saying? What do we got?
On the question side?
Yeah, what do we got?
We have a question. We have a comment from Sins before the question from the community. Sins, floor is yours.
No, I was gonna kind of double down, but let me hear what the question is, and then maybe I can weave my response into the answer.
Okay, this is definitely not the question you think it's going to be, so I would be very impressed if you can somehow weave it in. However, this is a question for the key opinion leader, 0x Sins, not the CEO of Cambria. They just want your personal opinion. We have a question from Mirth Mono that says, Mirth Mono asks, Sins, what do you think about trust and reputation in a world where identities, digital personas, and pseudonyms are everywhere, as are rugs? How do you define who is trusted and who isn't when you don't really know who anyone is?
Wow.
So nice, easy one for you there.
Good luck.
I mean, relevant. I think what's like ringing in my head right now is just the frustration I've felt over the past couple of days with like the clankers on social media.
The slop. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's been brutal. It's kind of really taken away from the enjoyment I feel on the X platform, and thankfully it's kind of segregated to X right now. I would hate to kind of have that experience on Instagram or anywhere else I spend my time. So
it's coming.
It's frustrating, but two, it's hilarious, as like the internet always does a good job of making memes of things. So what do so that's like, I just wanted to get that out there. And then when it comes to social and reputation, I think it's wow. It's very hard to build a reputation in the space, especially today. Like a lot of the people that are most trusted have been around here for 5 years minimum, right? I think, other names, 8-10 years in the space. You have people that do come onto the scene and kind of blow up as these new profiles or new personas. But I think, again, talk is generally cheap, and you really see someone's kind of reputation or the trust that people might have in them once they act, right? So there's obviously different ways to act, as you said, building, and you that trust is also eroded just as easily with mistakes. So it really is like it's a fine line. You're kind of dancing on the razor's edge constantly, especially if you're someone that biases for action, because your intentions could be very good, but they are not perceived as that, especially when you have a volatile asset like a token. And so yeah, those things flip flop constantly, and I think it's people who do a good job of kind of maintaining their reputation long term will benefit, right? It's really hard. The best thing, one of the things I said, the best thing you can do in crypto is kind of say no, to opportunities that you don't have conviction in, right? There's a lot of ways that hey, like, come help me launch this coin, or come join, come help me do this for this protocol, like, come help me with this side gig. Like, unless you really have conviction in it, like, I say, don't do it. And generally stuff that you don't have conviction in and kind of align yourself with are the times that you kind of burn your reputation. So yeah, that's the nugget when it comes to like how I think about reputation and trust in this dynamic.
Yeah,
I actually did not successfully weave my
I
previous
thought it might
answer
be
into
tough. I didn't even
mission
know what you were
failed.
talking about. I'm like, there's no way you're going to be able to weave this into what are your thoughts on pseudonymous internet accounts and reputation systems?
Well, I actually have a brief thought here, and it's not like a foolproof solution, because this is definitely an oversimplification, but I think the easiest way to confirm whether someone is trustworthy in crypto, one, like to your point, Sins, is patience, and just like not immediately going like all in, blindly trusting someone that you don't know who they are and you have no experience with this person and you don't know what their motivations are. But ultimately, I think trust is network, and it's pretty easy to look at an account's mutuals and kind of get a sense of like what that person's network is. And your network often reflects what you are doing in crypto. So if you have a bunch of shady mutuals and that's all, that's the majority of your mutuals, then it's more likely that person might be a little bit shady. If you look at someone's account and you're like, oh wow, there's 90 reputable mutuals here, it's likely that this person has a higher trust network overall. And I think that's one of the things that's pretty cool about Monad cards. Not only is it this curated network that the Monad Foundation team has identified as like, higher signal folks in the crypto space, but also through Wave 2 with nominations, you can say like, hey, I was nominated in Wave 1. My buddy, my contact, my so-and-so deserves to be in this network. And, it's a lot of fun to get nominated and to go claim a card. I would imagine. I wasn't involved, but I think kind of longer term, this is going to be a pretty cool network or community. We're already seeing like the Block has this experience with a prize for Monad card holders, and would imagine there's going to be more things like that in the future. But ultimately, the point is like, hey, we at Monad Foundation are in fact crypto native. Majority of us like use crypto every day, and have for years. And, we want that to be known. And we also want the people that have been participating in the space in good faith and doing cool things for the past couple of years to understand that we see them, we recognize them, and we value them and want to, include them as part of the overall Monad experience. So I'm really excited about what that community of Monad card holders kind of evolves into longer term. And yeah, it is hard at the end of the day. Like, there are a ton of scams and kind of shady people in the crypto space, and certainly that's fueled by anonymity. But ultimately, I think trust is your network.
Yeah, the dynamics change. Like, the dynamics deteriorated significantly too over like the past couple of years. Like you know, think about 2021. You used to be able to DM somebody like pretty easily in the crypto sphere and get a response. And I think like unfortunately, like new school of participants don't really get to benefit from that ease of access, right? You know, oftentimes if you think about like what our Twitter DMs or even our Telegram DMs look like these days, like just you see a message from a name you don't recognize. Unfortunately, like the odds of a response are pretty low. But yeah, as the boomers would say, your network is your net worth. So I'm sure that still applies.
I hope that is the case. Shout out Dan from CMS Holdings. I'm still looking for that net worth boost from you. Yeah, I also think like one kind of easy filter you can pass through on like how do you build a reputation in a world where identity, it's like you can basically judge it by what does this person have to lose. And like the more that they have to lose, like the higher the default risk, the more you can kind of generally trust them or the account. Like Kobe's not going to sit there and scam you because he has invested so much time and effort into this online persona. He's got a ton of money wrapped up in this. Like if he were to do something shady, he blows it all up for nothing. So like you can kind of trust he's not going to do that. Like Thomas, I know, you know, everything about you. I've met you in person. Like I trust that you're not going to generally scam me because like we're buddies. And if you did, you know, like you're not going to do that. Like, right. A random anon on the internet that could be an AI that has nothing to lose if they scam you. Like, yeah, that's not trust. So over time, I think that's like a pretty good litmus test. We do have a hard stop today. We do have a lot of wheel spins to give out. I'm not sure if we're keeping Thomas on for the wheel spins or if we have maybe time for one more question for him. I'm just going to keep dragging the sentence on a little bit until Danny, the head of this, gives me word on what direction we're going to take.
I think we get any closing thoughts, any closing message from Mr. Sins, and then we'll pop the headphones off.
Johnny. Final alpha.
Spins. I would love to do final alpha with Mr. Sins. Kevin, as always, tee it up.
Sins, I'm not going to lie. I know that you've watched every single episode of Monad in the Morning, and you have actually taken notes on each podcast before the live show. So I know that you know what final alpha is, right? It's the closing thought or question that you can leave the audience with that leaves them a little bit healthier, wealthier, or wiser, or gives them a good show to watch on Netflix or something to do to fill their free time, or something that just goes in one ear and out the other and will not impact the audience whatsoever. It is your choice to do with this time what you will. But the floor is yours for your final alpha.
Awesome. Lifestyle. I guess I'll start with lifestyle as alpha, like, compete. And it's the funnest thing you can do. Gives new meaning to things. Has really changed my life for the better. So yeah, my competition is swimming and keeps me fit and healthy, but gives me new meaning for just keeping my body healthy. And then the other is crypto. I would say everyone has the opportunity to influence kind of the direction and journey that Cambria takes, right? As I said, I'm not the decisions of Cambria do not lie or end with me. I'm probably more like a secretary than a CEO, to be honest. So yeah, I would say from a builder perspective, the power is in your hands. One, like reach out to me as like the lowest hanging fruit, but two, the easiest way to kind of make your mark is to entrench yourself deeply in the community and the ecosystem. Like make yourself desirable, if that makes sense, right? As I said. So if you are making noise, I will see you. So keep making noise, and yeah, that's the easiest way to kind of get on the Cambria radar. And then the effects from that are immense. You potentially will have new funding, new distribution channels, an opportunity to present yourself to the community in a very intimate way, right? I think the last nugget I'll leave, from a retail and communities perspective is when you go on these platforms, like that is the most intimate moment for a lot of, these companies' journeys, right? Their deck is completely visible for the public to see, their 2 to 3 page or their kind of growth plans, trajectory, their team intro. Like it's a very intimate moment. And so I think it's a privilege for teams. And so don't take the trend lightly, and really think about how the community and taking their money and their trust, how that plays into their roadmap and long-term journey. But I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. Apologies if I ramble a bit, but yeah, great to see you guys.
With great trust comes great responsibility. Thank you very much. Go follow at 0xsins, at Cambria_XYZ. Lot coming down the pipeline as it relates to Cambria, as it relates to Monad. 0xsins, thank you very much for joining us today on Monad in the Morning. We are about to spin the wheel for the community, but we have a special guest to help us spin the wheel. It is not his first time on Monad in the Morning. It may very well be his last.
It hopefully is his last.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, John W. Richkid in the flesh. Gentlemen, we can pop these headphones off. We have our roster of wheel spins. We are not only going to spin for those who asked questions today, but we have some spins from previous weeks queued up. I know Monkey Luffy is owed a respin.
Monkey Luffy.
And we want to spin for the Clippers as well. John,
Clips.
watch your feet over there because there's some cables and we don't want to take down
come over here, John,
the
if you
entire
want.
setup.
Oh, I don't have a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Can
look
you
at
hear
this.
me on this? Oh,
Unfortunately, they can.
yeah. I'm glad to be here. Danny told me that I was the perfect person to end Monad in the Morning because apparently by the time that, I'm done here, everyone will have left. And I think he means that in a really good way. So I'm very thankful to be
You're the
here.
closer, dog.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what Danny told me. I'm the closer. So he told me I'm the ultimate closer. So we're going to get this done.
We had to bring on the ultimate closer and the ultimate spinner. Let's get this thing fired up.
I just to give people an update of what we got on here, I have added 2 sections for a chance at 20,000. So you got
$20,000 on the wheel.
And to be clear, that chance is via the Blocks quiz experience that's been opened up today for Monad card holders. We know the Monad community are not holding Monad cards, so we'll be giving away a couple chances to participate in that quiz. The ultimate prize for that quiz is 20 big ones. Very exciting opportunity.
I've also added John W. Rich Kid will personally give you a video
Of him doing 200 push-ups.
You know what? I can abide by that. I can do that. My friends have been telling me I need to exercise a little bit more, so I think that's a good thing.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's hit the community questions first, and then we'll hit the pre-planned spins. First one, AF in Dubai asked a great question for Joe.
Yeah, I'll come over to you.
Johnny boy, take it away. Spin that wheel, and let's see what AF in Dubai is going home with today. Wow, look at that camera angle.
Bro, what?
That didn't work. All right.
So it's this camera here.
I feel like I just waterboarded myself. All right, let's go.
Looked like it.
Looked like, yeah.
Who's this for?
AF in Dubai.
You got a Monad hat. Monad hat.
Monad hat
pretty sick.
is being sent to Dubai for
Let's go.
AF
Let's go.
in Dubai.
Beautiful. Next one up. We got to go rapid fire here.
Okay.
Sovan.
Oh, so. Let's see.
This thing's about to take off.
Holy cow.
Oh, no way. He gets a plushie.
Oh,
That's
let's
crazy.
go.
That's good.
So
Plushie.
For Sovan.
And also, I think we can do plushie of your choice because, as you know, we got plushies for Melondoc, Chog, Moyaki, Salmonad, and Moosh. So you can have, I don't know if I just overrid the plan of Mana in the morning, but I know we have enough for everybody.
Beautiful.
let's go.
All right, next up, Furfur.
Oh, nice. Okay, it's like stuck in the middle of shout out and James's car right now. It's like
No,
Pick the one on that side.
all right, it's a shout out.
Shout out. Is it a
wasn't-
live shout out? Is it a video
just-
shout out?
It just says shout out.
Just live shout out. Yeah.
live shout out.
Shout out Furfur. Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
We love
Shout
Furfur.
out
Part
Furfur.
of-
Thank you for your question.
And I know Furfur has a Melondoc as well, so that's pretty cool, Furfur. I hope you enjoy that Melondoc and treat it well.
Furfur, I believe it's Furfur 9992. If my memory suits me well, I usually can't remember important things, but things like that I'm decent at. If you were wondering what Furfur's pin is on their phone or to get into their garage, it is likely 9992. You heard it here first.
To get into Furfur's garage.
There you
All
go.
right.
If you need to get into Furfur's garage, I got a guess for you. Dub, slap the wheel. Who's up next?
Zin Kiddo is
Zin
up.
Kiddo.
Zin Kiddo. All right, here we go for Zin Kiddo. Mainnet has been delayed by 1 year.
Oh, Zin Kiddo, come
Zin.
on.
Wait, a year? We can't do
It
that.
says 1 year.
It's all on you.
Well, thankfully we anticipated this.
We have to take down our pinned tweet right now that says
Oh
2025.
my god.
Thankfully we anticipated this several years ago, so that delay has already been accounted.
Accounted
It's a-
for the accounted for delay.
It's a respin.
Let's go. All right.
No, not a respin.
We replaced the respin with that one.
Well, it was replaced.
Just spin again for him.
All right. We'll spin it. We'll do a little quick on here. It's it's delayed by 1 year again.
No!
That's a
Who's
2-year
this?
delay.
Zin Kiddo?
Yeah.
A 2-year delay in 2 minutes.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
god.
Monad Mainnet 2029. All right, next up we have Mirth Mono.
Oh, Mirth. I
our
love Mirth.
Final question from the community on today's episode, but we're going to do a couple more spins afterwards for the Clippers
The Clippers.
and for Monkey Luffy, who
Oh.
a respin.
Yeah,
Cool.
I miss Monkey Luffy.
First up, Mirth Mono.
Mirth. And real quick, I know we don't have much time, but in 10 seconds or less, I just want to talk about the t-shirt that I'm wearing today. I don't know if everyone can see it. It's actually a John Deere t-shirt that I got for $8.99 at Costco. And I just want to tell everyone that shopping at Costco, quite frankly, I can't imagine that non-American people understand, but it's one of the best things that you can possibly do. So I just want to shout out there. And if you need to go to
The
Costco,
Costco
to
hot
get
dog.
clothing-
Dude,
Exactly.
Costco pizza is the best pizza in New York City.
Yeah.
To be clear,
I
though,
agree.
this is not a sponsored show. These are organic and highly random endorsements.
Similar to the pizza at Costco, which is very organic. only the best go into the Costco
Yeah.
pizzas.
And
This is not an ad.
no, and while we're also on the topic of shoes, I just want to show off.
What?
I got these last week. They are the Brooks Glycerin 22 shoes for gym shoes. They provide maximum comfort and a neutral base in the foot. And I got to say, they're the best shoes I've ever gotten before. So if you're looking for a pair of gym shoes, Brooks Glycerins are fantastic.
I just bought a pair of Brooks
No way.
yesterday.
No way. What Brooks?
Yeah.
Do you know what kind?
Got the Hyperion Max 3s.
That's it. That's a good choice, my friend.
I ran in the Ghosts for a while.
The Ghost. The
I
Ghost
haven't-
22s?
Maybe. I don't know.
I
They
have a pair
could
of the
be.
Ghosts too. They're on the Ghost 17s right now.
All right, Mirth Mono.
All right. Fine,
That
fine,
was
fine.
talking soccer.
All right. I gotta say, Mirth has been to Gary, Indiana before. I'm a big fan of Mirth. He knows how great Gary, Indiana is, and for that, he's taken
James's car.
All right.
Which you can drive to Gary, Indiana,
Yes,
from
you
wherever
can.
you are.
And park in Furfur's garage.
Yes.
You can do a lot.
Assuming that code is the best guess, which if there was a poly market on, I would probably be
Yeah,
guessing.
I think that's pretty fair.
And Furfur, you know the rules of the show. If that is actually not your garage code, please go and change it to be your garage code. Typically, we mispronounce, people change their names. In this case, you should probably change your garage code. Shout out Furfur.
All right, couple more rapid fire
All right.
spins. Monkey Luffy is owed the respin.
Monkey.
Monkey
Hey, hey.
Luffy. Here you go. Monad swag.
Swag
We got a
for
lot of ways stuff.
Luffy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Swag for Monkey Luffy. We look forward to sending that to you if you have not already received Monad swag. If you have received Monad swag, well, you already got your prize.
Speaking of Monad swag, you should all go listen to Justin Bieber's album Swag 2 coming at you. It was released 2 weeks ago.
No way.
This is not an ad.
There's
This
some
is
banger
not an
songs
ad.
in there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we are not getting paid yet to promote Justin Bieber's album.
Okay.
I do love his music. He has great hair too.
Heck yeah.
John.
All right.
Next spin.
all right.
Next up, Nuke Lion.
Nuke Lion.
Nuke Lion's been
Woo!
crushing the clips.
Clipping
Bunch
Nuke
of
Lion.
clips
For
from
that,
last
he gets a
episode.
shout out right now.
Okay.
Nuke Lion shout out. Oh, go. Can we close up Danny?
Shout out Nuke Lion. The clips have been tremendous.
Tremendous.
There's a clear, deliberate selection of what moments you are clipping. Great captions as well. The context has been fantastic. I am very confident that Nuke Lion will continue to improve in clipping quality and also in follower growth, in viewership growth. There is massive potential. If you clip the Monad in the Morning show, you can become one of the shelling points for news, updates, and announcements from the Monad ecosystem. John, please watch your feet because I'm seeing cords moving, and I really don't want to see those cameras come.
We can even
Hey,
to build on top of the shout out. Nuke Lion is the #1 clipper of Monad in the Morning. Nuke Lion, if you clip this clip,
Whoa.
you may as well clip this one. We're giving you a personal shout out, and then you get quote tweeted from the pipeline, and the pipeline says, "Everybody go follow Nuke Lion. He's the best clipper." So clip it. I hope to see this clip on Twitter in about 2 hours.
So
All right.
on that same note, though, I do want to mention I am surprised that nobody has created a Monad in the Morning clipping Twitter page or like capitalized on that, because that is a huge opportunity for you. Like you see Thread Guy clips or Thread Guy updates, like take our branding and run with it. Like we
You
don't
can just
care.
repost the videos from everyone else that's clipping it from their
Literally,
personals.
yeah. Like you can build a John.
sorry. Had it.
Who invited this
Please
guy?
keep going.
Just walks in the middle and sips his water.
Standing right in front of the camera, just drinking it. But seriously, like this is a huge opportunity. You can just take our brand, everything, all the work that we're doing for this, you can just build on top of it and take it for your own. So
100%. Great point. We've got 4 or 5 more and 2 minutes. So we got a rapid fire.
All right, rapid fire.
This one is for Alexis, another epic clipper. Alexis has been crushing it as
For your
well.
crushing it, you get a John W. Rich Kid video.
I am so sorry.
There you go. You get a video, Alexis, or
Awesome.
Alex 1 second, depending on how
I
you
will
pronounce
connect
it.
with Danny Pipelines and send you a video. I can't. Don't
Next.
know-
Okay, rip it up.
Oh yeah.
Blippy Chad. Blippy Chad.
Blippy
has
Chad.
Blippy
not only
Chad.
created some cool clips, but some other awesome media.
Main account block.
Blippy Chad, R.I.P. in
Damn,
peace.
That's tough.
See ya. All right, Bender. This one's for Bender.
Bender. Bender gets Monad swag.
Monad
We're
swag.
giving away a lot of good
swag.
stuff.
Swag.
I think
on
I would
you.
be surprised if Bender does not already have swag. The rule is if you've already received swag, well, it's a retroactive prize. It's destiny. You don't get 2 rounds of swag. We have to decentralize the swag.
That's true.
So if you win swag and you've already won swag, you will not receive more swag, but we still appreciate you nonetheless. Next spin for Nin77.
77. For what you do, you are going to get a main account follow.
Oh, main account
As one
follow.
person dies, another person lives.
Okay, and
That's
we
the way
only
it
have
goes.
30 seconds left in the show, so I'm going to need to get that account after. If you don't get the follow, clip it and tag me, and then I'll go and follow you. Obviously, last one up.
Q.
Oh, Q.
Q.
I met him in Greece. I like
Q's
Q.
a legend. Q's been absolutely crushing it.
APAC follow. APAC
Q
follow. That's
getting
pretty
the
good.
APAC
Q gets
follow.
APAC. Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, nice
That's
little.
that's top shelf prize.
Yeah, I feel like having APAC follow you is pretty good. I mean, it's a big state.
All right.
Here we go again. And that was John W. Rich Kid, as well as episode 29 of Monad in the Morning. We are live every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's our favorite day of the week, and it should be yours as well. This is where you get the news, the updates, the alpha, Monad ecosystem, very early, lots of cool things to come. So we look forward to seeing you next Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. In the meantime, look out for clips, look out for news, look out for happenings. It's all going on Monad. Thank you, and we'll see you next week on Monad.
In the
morning.
Oh, did I fuck that up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. That was episode.
I'm sorry.
All right, be safe, ladies and
That
gentlemen.
was episode 1.